just can't stop now. No, trying to find a way out. Hey, feels like they won't let me move, let me breathe, let me leave, just like a maze, like a maze.
Yo, PolyRob, what up?
Yo, what up, man? Welcome to the PolyRob podcast. I am your host once again, the Counselor PolyRob, and I appreciate y'all tuning in once again with me. I'm always happy when y'all tune in, and I'm always happy to do my podcast, you know what I mean? Listen and subscribe to all the podcast platforms if you want to listen to the PolyRob podcast, which is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, YouTube. Am I missing anything? No, that's all the podcast platforms. Make sure you go check me out. You know what I mean? Leave comments. Leave a lot more comments because I love those comments. I love to respond to those comments. You know what I mean? And I appreciate all the feedback. I got my promo flyers that I pass out just normally throughout the day, whether when I drop my babies off at school, I like pass it out to people, at the store, at the donut shop, or after I finish working out, I'll just pass it to a couple of people just to, see if I can get any new listeners and, people to tune in to the things that I got to say, you know what I mean? So I appreciate all the great feedback I've been getting from that. Memorial weekend just passed a couple of days ago, you know what I mean? I had an okay Memorial weekend because it was a combination between me cooking food and still doing music. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take no day off on Memorial weekend. I thought I was going to spend it with my kids, but just timing and everything got kind of shaky, so I didn't get a chance to spend it with them. But the day before and the day after, we was always chilling. We always do what we do. So that was cool. I actually had 2 steaks on Memorial weekend. So I hope y'all had some good food, just like I had good food. And if you didn't have good food, you should have been where I was at. Today has been a crazy up and down day. It's been a crazy up and down day. Let me explain, because it leads into the topic that I'm going to talk about today. Halfway through the day, first off, my kids didn't go to school. It's like one of the last days for school, and they had a choice of getting off early from school or just not going. So I was like, yo, we just not going. So we end up linking up with my sister, linking up with my dad, which is, their grandpa, had some food. Shout out to Belizean Paradise. You know what I mean? Good Belizean food, you know what I mean? They got the whole fish. My kids, they eat the whole fish. They eat the eyeball, terrible, but I guess it's good for them. Rice and beans, white rice, stew beans. My dad had the stewed chicken with the split peas. My sister had the same thing. Her boyfriend had the stew beef with the rice and beans. Me, I just got a meat pie, a tamales, and a pineapple ginger juice. You know what I mean? So that was cool. But dropping them off, dropping the boys off, I stopped to get gas because I was running mad low. So I stopped to get gas, and this one guy, approached me at the car and was like, yo, can I get some money so I can, buy me something to eat or whatever? He was, you could tell he was in his late 40s, you know what I mean? Just trying to figure it out or whatnot. So I was like, I'll see what I can do, when I come out from paying. So, I went in there, paid, came back out, and I went in my wallet and I just grabbed the first bill that I seen. It was a 5. I just gave it to him. And he was like, yo, thanks. I appreciate it. Boom, boom. And then as I'm pumping the gas, I see him pull out his phone, and I look at his phone, and his phone is like a Google Pixel, like one of them new Google Pixel type phones. So I'm like, oh, so you got some bread or something? And you jugged me out of $5, but I was like, my blessings is my blessings, so I wasn't even tripping. Then, later on in the day, taking care of some work, taking care of some sessions. Then late night session came through, and as one of my good friends, good friends, he actually, um, you know, like about a week and a half ago, decided um, to start rapping again. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tell you who he is. All I can say is he has a famous chain that you guys love in LA. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna say his name. But he decided to start rapping again. You know, and he's an older guy. You know what I mean? And the average person would think like, damn, like, man, like you deciding to do this like so late in the game or whatnot or whatever. You know what I mean? I take it as anybody who wants to explore, any talents at any age. Just do your thing. So, um, so tonight we recorded a session, got it in. You know what I'm saying? He was ecstatic about it. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I was actually surprised that the record came out uh, uh, way better than I thought it was going to come out. You know what I mean? 'Cause I thought he was going to be rusty or whatever, but he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to listen to all his music he used to do, but when you ain't did it for years, you get rusty. It's just natural. But he came in there and he blazed it. You know what I mean? And it was funny because I was looking at him and the look on his face, he was so excited, man. It felt like he was 6, 7 years old again. You know what I mean? And that felt good to me to make sure that I want to make sure I display a good service, to him by him being in the studio and doing what we do as engineers and as producers. But then also, it's just like, man, like anybody that can be that geeked at that age is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. So it was a very productive day. You know what I mean? And it kind of sparked this topic that I want to talk about. Um, I've been thinking about it for a while, but it's just like today was just too in pocket. You know what I mean? For me to just go ahead and talk about it. You know what I mean? So before I say the title of the topic, I want to go through a couple names. Um, Harrison Ford, Two Chains, Leslie Jones, Rick Ross, Bryan Cranston, Ken Jong, Samuel L. Jackson, Ted Danson, Melissa McCartney, J.K. Rowling, Felicia Rashad, Sylvester Stallone, Morgan Freeman, Steve Carroll, Tina Fey, Tim Allen, Inglewood Sir. Now I know y'all thinking like, what all those names have to do with anything? And they're so random. So many facets of people, so many ideas floating around. But the topic of today is success has no age. Let me say it again. Success has no age. Now I can go back and forth and talk about, all of the young people who've made it in a successful manner at a young age, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about all the people, like the people that I named. These are all the people who have established success after the age of 30. After the age of 30. These are people who got their big break after the time that people believe you should get your big break. There's an idea always floating around that it's a young person's game in the music industry and sometimes in certain business structures. But let's just talk about entertainment for a second, because I feel like there's this big narrative that's over everybody's head that, causes a lot of great talents to give up so easily. To give up because they feel like their time is up. But let's go down the line. Harrison Ford was 34 when he got his big break on Star Wars. 2 Chainz was 34 when he got his big break in the music industry. Leslie Jones, which she's dope for her stand-up, comedy, being on Ghostbusters. You see her on a lot of commercials now. She's funny as shit. You've seen her at the Obama roast. She was 47 when she got her big break on Saturday Night Live. 47. Rick Ross was 37 when he got his big break, his big record. 37. Bryan Cranston, one of my favorites. You already know the show. When I say Bryan Cranston, the first thing that comes to your brain is Breaking Bad. One of the best shows ever in life. He got his big break at the age of 44 on Malcolm in the Middle. 44. 44. He got his big break. You guys see the pattern that I'm going with here? Success has no age. No age. I felt compelled to talk about this topic because I'm not going to lie. A lot of my peers and a lot of people that I love dearly and a lot of people that I respect and a lot of people that I've learned from, I watched them take a step back and I watched them be content with the status of wherever they're at because they feel like they're too old to chase their dreams. They're too old to do what they once would do when they was young. I hear this all the time. Oh man, I'm too old for that shit. I hear that all the time. You too old for what? You too old for happiness? You too old for excitement? You too old for success? Is that what you're saying? I hope that's not what you're saying. And don't get me wrong. Listen, I respect the working class. Let's just call it who they are, the working class. I respect them. They're some of the most bravest people on planet Earth. You know why? It's because they wake up in the morning, get themselves together every day, and go work for somebody else's dream. It takes a brave person to do that. Very brave person to do that. I might not. I don't think I'm that brave. I can't do that. But besides the fact, you should never feel like you're too old to engage in something that can potentially make you successful. Let me say it again. You should never feel too old to engage in anything that can potentially make you successful. from entertainment, from business endeavors, from starting your own business, from doing a partnership with somebody else for your career, whatever it is. You're never too old for that. Never. Now I understand when people come and they be like, yo, let's go to this party, let's go hang out. Yeah, you might be too old for that. You might not want to deal with stuff like that. I get it. But when somebody come through and they like, yo, I got an idea, man, let's go get a taco truck and sell tacos. You not too old for that? I see some 45, 46, 47-year-old singers they sung for a couple years, they stop, they sing for a couple years, they stop, and they still keep going. They still keep going. I applaud that. Ken Jeong, Mr. Chow from The Hangover. Y'all know who he is. 40 years old when he got his big break. Now, he was a doctor before that, but for him, being a doctor wasn't considered something that he would deem a very successful thing in his life. Maybe for somebody else, but not for him. He got his big break on The Hangover at 40 years old. Keep in mind, this is the same age where a lot of people say, oh, man, I don't want to do that. Oh, man, my back hurt. Oh, I don't want to go out too late. Oh, I got work in the morning. This is the same age. Ted Danson, famous for Cheers and a lot of other shows and movies. 35 when he got on Cheers. The same age where people was like, oh man, I got work in the morning. I don't think I want to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm not finna go to that audition. I'll just catch the other one. I'll just catch the next one. Hey man, don't be lazy with your dreams. Don't be lazy with your success. Samuel L. Jackson was 46 years old when he got his big break in Pulp Fiction. I'm pretty sure he did a bunch of movies before that, but the break, that's like, no, that's Samuel L. Jackson. He was 46. 46. Success has no age. And I'm disappointed in a lot of 30-year-olds and a lot of mid-30, late 30. I'm mid-30s. And a lot of my colleagues I'm disappointed in. I'm going to be honest. I'm disappointed in. Because they always make this excuse, and I'm going to call it an excuse because it's not saying that it's something that's not valid. I'm just saying it's an excuse because you don't want to find another way to get it done. The excuse of, oh man, I got work, man. I can't do that, man. I got work. You know what I'm saying? I work every day. So do I. Oh man, I got the kids, man. It's gonna be hard for me to just start this new thing up, and I got the kids. So do I. What that mean? That just means you're gonna be more ultimate when you pull it off. I've watched mothers have 2 kids and go to school and get their degree. I've watched fathers have a whole family and still end up chasing their dreams in music and doing something amazing. You don't know how your life is going to turn out. You don't know how it's going to turn out. But do yourself a favor and do what you love to do. Do what you love to do. I'm not saying quit your job and just be a rapper for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that. But if you deem yourself someone who has a talent in rapping, singing, swinging a baseball, doing whatever, find a way to continue to keep doing that. Because you never know when your break might come. We watch so many stories and watch so many documentaries of people who have been down and out and ended up coming on top. Tyler Perry, homelessness to a millionaire. What's the guy on Power? Chadwick. Homelessness in his 30s, in his early 30s, homeless. Now he's the man on Power and all these other movies going up. Success has no age. Where would they be if they thought like you? Let's think about that. Let's think about that. Where would they be if they thought like you? If they was like, oh man, I'm just stay in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that next week, man, because I ain't got no time, man. I got a bunch of shit to do. Where would they be if they thought like you? Where would anybody be if they thought like you? I ask myself that question a lot. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this shit is easy. Definitely not easy. I'm in my mid-30s, y'all. I've done some great things in my lifetime. But I can honestly tell you that I'm not where I want to be. I'm going to just be honest. Financially, I'm not where I want to be. In success, I'm not where I want to be. Even in my personal life, I'm not where I want to be. There's a lot of things that I got to work out. There's a lot of things that needs to be fixed and modified and boosted. And it's a lot of things that needs to be adjusted. But I'll be lying to you if I tell you I'm not on the way to my best fucking life, period. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I'll be lying to you if I told you I'm not having fun doing what I love to do. That chasing the dream is not exhilarating. I'll be lying to you. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. When people look at me, when people call me, when they call me for a service, when they call me for production, when they call me for graphic design, when they call me for web design, when they call me for consulting, they call me because they know I go for it. I go for it. I got friends right now that call me just to get a good pick me up for the day because they know I'm going for it. Success has no age. I'll be damned if I let somebody tell me I can't be an award-winning producer in my mid-30s, in my late 30s, in my early 40s, in my mid-40s. It happens all the time. May not be in the tabloids. May not be in the news. It may not be the sweetest thing that you can see on Instagram, But it's happening. It's happening. Melissa McCartney, 30 years old when she got her big break in movies. No disrespect to Melissa, but people wouldn't deem her the most attractive. They wouldn't deem her the sexiest. They wouldn't even sometimes deem her the funniest. But she got through that door and she did her motherfucking thing. Hats off to Melissa McCartney. Made some of the greatest, dopest comedy films I've seen in a long time. Very refreshing. She didn't let nobody stop her. All of these people that I've named, look them up. Listen to their story. Listen to their story. Because guess what? It sounds like yours. It sounds like your story. It sounds like the 40 hours a week, extra overtime, no time to sleep, no time to go out, no time for a relationship, kids running around the house, trying to figure out what's going on with your life. Then it clicks and things change for you. It sounds like your story, just a piece of it. Just a piece of it. And the only reason why it's just a piece is because you haven't given yourself the opportunity to get out of what you're in. These successful people that I named, they never gave up. They always kept trying to push through. That's what life is about. It's about pushing through, man. Push through. I'm not going to lie to you. Some days I want to give up. Some days I want to stop music altogether. I want to stop this career altogether. I'm not going to lie to you. Some days I feel like that. And best believe every time I feel like that, God always gives me some type of sign or opportunity to continue to prove myself worthy of my own career. There's been times where I've been broke as shit. And I want to say, fuck it. I'm just going to go work a 9 to 5 and just work, come home, be a father, and that's it. Sounds like a great thing to me. But it's not what I'm put on this earth for. Of course, I'm put on this earth to be a great father, but I'm not put on this earth to just be regular. I am abnormal. I am strange. I am crazy. I am creative. I am great. So those are the things that I'm chasing. I'm chasing greatness. I'm chasing abnormality. I'm chasing creative. That's what I'm chasing. I see a lot of my friends and a lot of my family. I get it. We all got to take care of our responsibilities. But what about our God-given responsibilities? Our God-given right to be great at what we're great at. Because if all the economy was gone, if all the city life, if all the money and the currency, if everything was gone, and you still had to exist on this earth, what would you exist doing? I'm going to do music. I don't care if I got 2 crates and a cymbal or if I got all this equipment in the studio. I'm a producer, damn it. And I'm going to do it. Success has no age whatsoever. J.K. Rowling was 32 when she published her first Harry Potter book. Y'all know how big Harry Potter is, and y'all know how difficult it is to have any successful published book. She has several. But being 32 and being a writer in society don't match. They expect the young writers to be the ones to get over and do their thing. Felicia Rashad was 31 when she got her big break at The Cosby Show. A monumental role she played. Sylvester Stallone was 30 years old when he got his big break. From the Rockies to the Rambos to the now Creed series that you see before you. He worked his ass off. And 30 is not an ideal acting age. It's not ideal. As soon as you hit your 30s, they start pushing you away. But you got to keep fighting through. Morgan Freeman was 52 years old when he got his big break on Driving Miss Daisy. 52. You done passed 50, my G. And you still going for it. That's why I get mad at my 30-year-olds, yo. Why y'all think it's over? Why do y'all think that chasing the concept of being successful is over? You give up that fast? If you're living to be 100, but you already settling and being content at 30, hey man, you got a whole 60, 70 something years of being regular? Is that what you want? I hope that's not what you want. Morgan Freeman was 52, man. He living some of his best life from 52. Now keep in mind, Driving Miss Daisy was a long fucking time ago. So you can imagine how old Morgan Freeman is right now. And he living some of his best times, making some of his best movies, doing some of the most amazing things you could possibly do on this earth. Why would you stop yourself from that? Forget about the status quo of people believing that there's an age limit on success, because it's not. Steve Carell, when he did his first film, 40-Year-Old Virgin, he was 43. 43 years old. And he took off from there. Sometimes we face a standstill point. We face this point where we feel like we're not really going nowhere. And it can be really nerve-wracking because without the right support system around you, you can fall into this big old abyss of, I'm just going to do what I can. I'm just going to do whatever I can. Whatever I can do, I'm just on that. Hopefully it get better for me. Hopefully it not. And I understand that. Sometimes you get at a standstill point. But trust and believe when I tell you, when you get into that standstill point, this is the time to be the most creative. this is the time to be the most daring and take the biggest chance, because it's almost like a car driving, then all of a sudden it gets stuck in the mud for a little bit. Like, it's mud, it only go down so far, but in order to get out that little mud puddle, you gotta rev the engine all the way the fuck up and rock that motherfucker until it come out. That's what a standstill point is. When you at a standstill point, you gotta do something crazy, obnoxious, creative, and get yourself out of that mud puddle and get right to it. And I understand success ain't for everybody. But damn it, if you feel like that's for you, chase that shit. Chase it. Go for it. Because this is one of the things that frustrates me. In the whole spectrum of life, when it comes to the elders teaching the young ones, you got to keep in mind that there are young kids that are 6, 7, all the way to 16, 17, 18, that their whole objective around that time is to find out what they're good at and chase their dreams. And the teachers always tell them chase their dreams. The motivators, the people who come speak at their school, the artists that come through every once in a while during the lunch hours and perform, they number one thing is always chase your dreams. But then when the kids go home, they go home to the early 30s, mid 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, mid 40-year-olds, their parents, and you don't hear none of that no more. You don't hear chasing your dreams or trying to get to success no matter what the cost, or you don't hear that because these people have given up. Think about it. When's the last time you've ever heard a parent and a child chasing their dreams at the same time? When have you heard that? It's very rare, ain't it? The parents chasing whatever dream that they want, whether it's, trying to get their bachelor's degree or trying to get into film or whatever the case may be. And then the child chasing their dream to be a basketball player or to be, a scientist. When have you ever seen the parents and the kids chasing their dream at the same time? Wouldn't that be fascinating? Wouldn't that be great? For the parents and the kids to have conversations about the steps that they're taking to chase their dream, to be successful. To hear the mother and the father say, hey, I'm chasing this dream because I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. You guys are my babies. You guys are my heart. I want to make sure y'all taken care of. And then the kids will say, yeah, I love you. I love you too, but I want to chase my dreams so I can take care of you guys when you guys get older. Mommy, I want to buy you a house. Daddy, I want to buy you a new car, so I'm going to work hard to chase my dream. You don't hear that. You don't hear that these days. We got to hear a lot more of that, man. I always talk to my kids about what they want to be when they grow up. What steps are they taking to be what they want to be when they grow up? And just, yesterday I was talking to them about, talent and skill. Like, I asked them what was talent. I asked them what was skill. They looked it up on Google. And talent said it's the concept of a natural skill. It's when you naturally have a skill, just out the blue. And then a skill is the ability to do things well, do a task well, do whatever it is well. So I asked him, I said, Makai, so what's your talent? He said, my talent is drums. My talent is music. I said, right. I said, so what's your skill? He said, playing video games. I said, you're right. My youngest, Zaire, I asked him, what's your talent? First, he was like, I don't know. He was like, oh, I know. Um, my talent is being funny, being creative, drawing, And I said, what's your skill? He said, math. I like math. Math is my skill. I said, okay, cool. So I was telling him, I was explaining to him um, the balance that we all need to have between our talents and our skills. Our talent is something that's God given. God gave that to us for us to use it, for us to use our individual talents for the greater of ourselves and those around us. And our skills are things that we pick up along the way. So I was telling Makai, I said, although you love playing video games, we cannot exercise our skills more than we exercise our talent. Let me say that again. You should not be exercising your skills more than you exercise your talent. That's backwards. That's backwards. You got it wrong. I understand that you go to work 8 hours a day, but that means you spend 8 to 10 hours on your talent a day. We give these jobs, we give these positions so much of our skill and our time. We don't even give ourselves the opportunity to get our talent together. Real talent, God-given talent. Why would we spend so much time on skills for somebody who has their own dream and not spend the time on what God gave us? Why would we not spend the time on what God has given us? Success has no age whatsoever. The last person I want to point out, my good friend, Inglewood Sir. Shout out to Inglewood Sir for making amazing music since I've known him. And shout out for Inglewood Sir not stopping when he could have. I'll let him tell you the story of his process and his journey. But for somebody like him, it's very inspirational to me and a lot of people that surround me, because we all come from the same, musical elements. We've been around each other for years, and for him to blossom the way he did and with his own God-given talent, the way that he wanted to, is a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing. Last thing before I get out of here, because I got to go get to what I got to get to, because success has no age. I want y'all to replay that phrase in your mind every day. When you wake up and you're tired of doing the same old shit, just know success has no age. So one of the biggest things I feel like is important in success is to speak it into existence. You got to constantly speak it into existence. Sorry. Constantly speak it into existence. So these are certain ways that I've used to speak success into existence for me. These are just different ways, different things that I do and don't do. So I'm going to end this podcast with a couple of things that I do to speak my success into existence. Number one, stop saying you too old for this. Stop. Stop saying you too old for this. You're not too old. No profession, don't care what it is, you're not too old. If you can jump, run, backflip, and think, you can do it. You're not too old for it. There's ways, some, even in sports, you're not too old for it. Some leagues, they have leagues with older people, they have leagues with younger people. You're not too old. Figure it out, get it done. And I hate when people say, oh man, I can't stay up late and do this, work on this career stuff or do whatever because I got work in the morning. Stop. Get your shit done. Get it done. And then go to work in the morning. I don't care how tired you are. Stop. You're not too old for it. You are not too old for it. When you say that you're too old for something, what you're really saying is you're tired of what you're doing. You're not tired because you're really tired. You're tired because you're tired of what you're currently doing. You want to change. You want to change because trust me, when you love your job, when you love your talent, when you love your career, you're never tired. You're never tired. Trust me. You're going to get sleep here. You're going to get some rest there, but you're never tired. I know some people who say, I'm tired before a nigga even say hi. Stop doing that. You're not tired. You're just tired of the position that you're in, which is going to slow you up, which is going to slow up your thought process, slow up your happiness, slow up your productivity, slow up everything. And that's why you feel old. That's why you feel old. It's because everything is slowing up because you're not happy with the position that you're in. That's why you feel old and you say, I'm too old for this shit. So stop saying that. You're not too old. Number two, get back to research. Get back to studying. The world is so open right now. It's so open. So much information. So much stuff you can get off the internet. You can get so much information off of YouTube. People showing you this shit. Get back to doing your research because when you're chasing a profession, you now have the ability to figure out how close you are to it by getting the research. I know people who want to open up, businesses and whatnot. They'll call me and be like, yo, how do I do this? How do I do that? The first thing I do is just go right on YouTube or go on Google, type in what they want to do, get the link and copy and paste the link right in their text and send them the link. Done. Get back to research. Research is not just so you can know something. It can actually help you understand how close you are to your goal. And it can re-energize you. It can get you hyped about now moving forward because you got the right information. You got information that you may not have, gotten if you wouldn't have searched for it. Get back to research because everybody's not going to just tell you the things that you need to hear. They're going to tell you partially. So do your own research and you'll be able to find out the things that you can do to move forward. Because a lot of this stuff be easier than what you think it is. And the last thing, very important, very important. Ways to speak things into existence. This is my last thing. You have the power to select the friends around you. I'm talking to the 21-year-old and up, all the way to 60 and 70 years old. You have the power to change and select the right friends to help you along your path to greatness. Friends can help you or destroy you, depending on what kind of friends you have and what state you're in. Never forget that. And it's not that they're trying to, it's just that it happens. If you're on the brink of trying to make a new formula, but majority of your friends like to go out to the club and go drinking, that's not the selection of friends that you need to be around when you're trying to create a formula to change the world. When you're trying to be a musician and you're trying to travel the world and do gigs, the friend that you have that just want to stay in the house all the time, that's not going to be the friend that's going to help you on your quest of traveling and doing gigs across the world. Yeah, I know it sounds fucked up because we always attach friendships to how long and how dear they are to you, how long you've been in the friendship and how dear they are to you. But in actual reality, your friends reflect your success. One way or the other, they reflect your success. So you have the ability to select the friends that surround you. And by doing that, you either help yourself move closer to success or you take a couple of steps back. It's your choice. Success has no age. So stop acting like you old, because you're not. You got a chance. You still have a chance right now. So get to it. I appreciate y'all listening, man. This is the PolyRob podcast, man. Make sure you listen and subscribe on all the podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. Man, I appreciate y'all listening. You know what I'm saying? I definitely was tired tonight, but I had to get this one done because the universe told me to. So I had to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Until next time. Peace.